Okay, so I get people asking me how I draw things. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know. I just do things. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and teach it to the best of my ability. And I'm also sorry for my birds because they hate me when I do anything that's not being quiet. So we're just gonna start something simple. This will be short. So, I guess I'll show you how I draw bodies. Or like the process I like to go through. I'm also on my computer doing this. I'm not really good at drawing on a computer. I prefer to draw on a regular tablet. But I'm gonna try and make it work. So obviously, I'm sure that everybody knows this. You start with a circle. That is way too thick. That's the best I was getting on this janky display thing I'm using. So next, we add a center line. We all know what that is too. Let you know the direction the face is, or facing rather. Where all the center details. God, I suck at explaining things. So as you see, it's facing left. I'm gonna shape out the skull. Recently, why is it doing that? Recently, I like to think of the skull a bit more critically because I've been watching a lot of videos myself, trying to get better. I like to think of this area above the second middle line. This is like the brow area, which I'm sure is the proper way to think of it. But this is where the eyebrow would go. The skull would dent in, pop back out for the cheek around here. Then curve around the cheekbone to the chin, come up around this side. But you could also draw this, flat circle. Get an idea of the flat side of the skull. We had a really shoddy skull that I drew on my computer because I prefer everything on my tablet. Now there's two ways you could do what is it called? What is the little bone thing in my body? Are called ribs. So, ribs. Or torso. That's what I was trying to find. I knew it wasn't something as weird as ribs. There's two ways you could do it. Either a straight circle, or not circle, but oval-like thing, how I do. Center line, curve up, wherever the feck you'd call this. And then work from there. That's usually about a head tall. So make this a little bit longer. There. But there's another way you could do it. It's probably easier when you're first starting, when you can't eyeball it, or if you can't really think in like smooth 3D shapes like that. I want to fix the center line a bit. You could also use cubes, rectangles, whatever you want to call it, to better see the way it's facing. Me personally, I only really use that when I'm doing complicated shapes, or like complicated poses rather. But then you just fill the oval on that. But now it's easier for you to see what's the front, what's the side. Same can go for head, It's all preference. That is a bad one. That is a bad square. I want to round it some more. There we go. That's a little bit better. So it's all preference on how you want to do things like that. Obviously, you would have to bring this. Whoa, not what I wanted to do. Obviously, you'd want to bring this a little bit lower. Make sure it feels more connected. Next, we're gonna go to the hips. Another thing I ironically struggle with myself. I'm not gonna act like I'm the best guy at drawing this thing, but we're gonna do it both ways again. The simpler way, shapes. This is just a shorter rectangle, angled down. Okay. Make sure it connects, feels right. And you can draw this little, I actually don't know what about this shape. This hip looking object in there. And you can obviously see, bam. That's a hip angle down. Done. For bones, I definitely just free bones. For legs, I definitely just freehand it. My birds just hate me. I definitely just freehand it. If I don't stop clicking this wrong button. I wouldn't know what this would be called. I don't do anatomy studies as much as I should. But this is just the legs. I'm exaggerating the head a bit more. Because, you know, femboy. I got an idea where I want that to be. Next we have the collarbone. This is usually at the center of the torso. Goes out a bit. I let you know how long the shoulders are going to be. The neck is usually just straight down. Think of it as more of a 3D object. I don't usually do this, but this is just to help you visualize it a bit better. Now, 1 second. Now remember what I said about the head, the neck's more of a cylinder. Don't think of it as just a 2D shape. But there's a muscle that comes around the back side of the neck, or more on the side, but yeah, I think the back side. That connects to this, the ends of this collarbone. That just helps it look a bit more realistic. They add these little circles to tell me where the shoulder is going to be, or the bicep, not the bicep. Oh, it's something. I forget what it's called. Now that's around that. Like a line for the bones. The upper arm, usually about this long as the torso, if not a little bit longer. I'm gonna clean the torso a bit too after this part. Then the other part of the arm, like the same torso length. I'm gonna angle the torso just a little bit so that way it's a bit more appealing to look at. Alright, I angled that a bit more. I'm probably gonna make it look a lot better once I get to the part where I add in muscles and shite. I'm gonna keep the arms simple because I'm not the best guy to explain this. Make it a simple cylinder. If I was better at explaining anatomy, I'd get more into that. Make it just a simple cylinder. Make it a bit more clear for you to see. Make it look a bit more connected to the torso area. Little triangle for the elbow. I'm such a messy drawer, I'm sorry. Without my proper pen tablet tool, this is very difficult for me. Same thing for the... Wow, I don't know what these are called. I'd be doing whatever. Same thing for the lower arm. For the hands, I'm not even trying to explain it to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna explain it. I can't. We're just gonna add a little goofy thing for the hand. And then, since I already explained that part of the arm to you, we're just gonna do whatever for this one. The shoulder, a little bit shorter on this side because it's a little bit hidden. Dear God, it's so messy. We're gonna clean this up just a little bit so it's easier to read. I did my best I could to clean that area up, but right now, like I said, I'm just not on my comfortable spot on my tablet. So it's just gonna be messy. Now connecting the hip to your torso to the hip. I'm sorry, it's so hard to think. My birds just won't. They won't be quiet. I recorded for the first time in forever, and they just want to yell their lungs out. Any other time, they want to be quiet. Since the hip is curved back, I'm gonna make this back area follow. And since this part's pulling down, we'll have this be a bit more straight. A little bit of muscle around the hip. Muscle stretches around this bone. Then we got the front area of the leg. That will be covered by the leg that's in front of it. Same over here, muscle over here, muscle over here. Wrap around. I'd advise you look up your anatomy. Because like I said, I can't really explain it to you. I kind of just know where some things are. I just rough it out until it looks right. Little area is the knee. You think of it very roundly. This lower leg muscle goes behind the front leg. Oh my god, the upper leg. Now I'm just gonna try and like cleanly reline this just so it's easier to read because it's just so messy right now. Alright, you see, we cleaned it up a bit. Still kind of rough, but what can I do? I don't draw on computer. I will keep bringing that up. I'm gonna bring out the sketch layer again. Oh, the little guy is still there. Now, I'm not gonna go too in depth with the chest and stuff, other than simple things like, you know, little middle of the pecs are, except to this back area. Round this out a bit. You know, belly button. I'm gonna put some clothes on, bro, because this ain't that type of video. We're just gonna give him one big shirt, you know, one big t-shirt. My default, my go-to. I really can't explain to you how wrinkles work. Once again, that's another thing I had to wing. We'll say baggy clothes will take away some of this definition, unless you're purposely trying to keep it in a stylized way. There. Gave him a shirt. A little messy. Let me make this a little bit better right here. Little area right here to be covered. A little shadow, make it pop a bit more. Same goes for this line area. Show that it's being covered. Reopen the sketch layer. Now faces. Yeah, that's a hard one for me because I change the way I draw faces a lot. But for basic stuff, we're gonna say this guy's a bit more of a brat. So we'll give him like triangular eyes. Way too thin. Rounded a bit. And add some thickness to it. It goes for this one. It helps if you make the corners meet. So let's go to the lower layer. You gotta make the corner of the eye meet. This bottom corner right here. And I want to say the top of the eye too. So I'm going to lower that triangle a bit when we get back to the main layer. The bottom of the lids meet. Alright, that's the best that's getting right now, especially on the vector layer. So next, pupils. I'm going to keep it simple how I usually draw them. It's a big old circle. Simple circle. Usually fills the entire eye, especially if it's squinting. Usually, I'm trying to get to more detailed pupils, but I'm already struggling with this tutorial, so I'm not gonna try something entirely new with y'all. Eyebrows, like I said, this is where the brow area is, where like becomes more of a flat plane going up. We put it above this. Add some thickness. This one be coming down. And a simple little smile. This area is a bit more flat right here because, you know, where the side of the face curves around. In this middle area, we're gonna add the nose. That's where the top of the nose is. I'm not gonna, you know, keep that there because it looks weird, but you know, it gives you the idea. Now here, I won't lie to you. I am not gonna explain that much, you know. Throw his ear right here in this flat plane area. Ear usually connects to where this jaw area is. Same with the neck, depending on how your style is. Make this thicker. Add some shadow. I'll give him long hair for once. I usually give him short hair to give it more of a boyish feel. It's messy guy. So I add some lines to show the inside of the skull. Doing the eye holes where the skull is. I'll just have the hair come off the body. Usually have your hair come from a point. That way it feels a bit more consistent. That are gonna come from these points. The part right here. Let the back pop up. Come around. Add some loose strands. Hands up a bit because hair isn't just gonna be perfectly laying on your skull. Get rid of the guidelines. So we got most of the stuff down. We're gonna erase the things that are covered by the hair. Darken this area so you know that's the inside of the hair. Get a little bit of curvature here because, you know, it's not a girl. That's not a girl. Then we're just gonna shorten the canvas because I don't know what my settings are on PC. Cropped out a little bit better. Then we're just gonna thicken things a bit. Make it a little bit easier to read. Darken the lines. Light wouldn't reach. Just gotta make this area right here a little bit thicker, so I'll just paint that there. And there we go. A really crappy tutorial on how I draw. I'm sorry it was painful. It probably wasn't even all that helpful. But unfortunately, my birds were just not trying to give me a break. And it's drawing on the computer for the first time in forever. It's hard to work with tools that aren't my usual thing. But maybe in the future I'll get better at this. Who knows? But, yeah, there you go. There's fucking Thomas. Call him that.
Unfortunately for you, I'm not him.